Hi, my name's David Platt, and I'm here to talk to you today about you in the COVID economy, and particularly about owning your future work. A new course to chart your way forward. 4 must-dos in 4 minutes. Before getting into those 4 must-dos, let me provide you with a little context from our thinking, our work, and our research. We've been looking at the future of work for over 10 years, and up to 2019, we were tracking a number of things that were already starting to become quite concerning. This, of course, includes the obvious, like digital and physical disruption, AI, deep learning, low-cost cloud global solutions, automation, all sorts of changes driven by and large by new technology. Equally, we were looking at large shifts in work practices, the casualization of work, a shift to a gig workforce, and even to portfolio type work. And of course, all of these and more were dramatically changing the nature of work and the security of your work. And then in 2020, COVID hit and all bets were off. Organizations radically changed their operating models and had to transition very quickly to new work practices, things like shifting people to remote work, off-site work, hybrid work, rapid scaling of digital technologies to reshape and lower cost in this immediately new working environment. As we get closer to 2021, we must all now be thinking, how secure really is my future work? And can I take charge of my work in the future? This has led us to pose 4 questions for those seeking security in their future work. Question 1. How valued are my skills, work, and job in the future? As I mentioned at the start, technology was already changing and reshaping that reality. And then of course we had COVID-19, and all that we were already thinking about has been radically reshaped in 2020. And as we look to 2021 and beyond, we have to think about things like new ways of working, new workplaces, new workspaces. What is happening around digitization, automation, and the changing nature of the skills that we need to work productively in that environment? What does that new work look like for you? And will your skills, your work, and your job be relevant in that context? Question 2. What do I value, both personally and professionally? In times of complex disruptive change, our values are what hold us and hold those closest to us together. They also provide a strong foundation on which to build and rebuild. In a sense, your values are what provide a bit of an anchor and also a direction in complex disruptive change. As Australia settles into a new normal, it's time to ask yourself, what do I value? And how do you hold true to that for you and those who are close to you? And how do you take that forward in your work? So in asking that question for yourself professionally, you have to think about what is it that you really value in work. That's things like the type of work that you do, who you work for, where you work, and the sorts of projects that you work on. And all of that is about your mindset, your skill set, and your strategic focus for yourself professionally. But more importantly than that, what does this mean for you personally? What about your family, your children if you have them, yourself, and the value you seek to generate in the world? Is what you're doing now and into 2021 and beyond really going to align to your core values? That is the question. Question 3. Do I take full responsibility for my working future? The old approach to jobs and work has vanished. That traditional pathway from education to work to retirement is gone. The future of work is now, and it is different. More so, and maybe more importantly to you, the very nature of the relationship between employee and employer has changed. And you've really got to think about what that means for you and the choices that you make. If you're expecting your employer to shape your career journey from now until you finish, that's an expectation that will not likely be fulfilled. This requires you to take responsibility for your work now and your work in the future. And again, this is about your mindset, your skill set, and your strategic focus in action. In other words, what we're asking you to do is to be strategic about the decisions that you make for your working future. You've got to ask yourself some pretty important and fundamental questions. What is my worth from a future work perspective? Where should I work and how should I work? What technologies could change the nature of the work that I do? And how might I need to change myself to keep pace with those changes, or even, dare I say it, get ahead of some of those changes? And finally, will my profession, will the work that I do now be held as core in our new COVID normal economy? Or do I have to change? And if so, should I be changing now? And question 4, what is my personal future work strategy to secure what I value in 2021 and beyond? Securing what you value in the future requires your personal future work strategy. It's something you have to do for yourself. No one else can do this for you. For example, your strategy should account for the real-world conditions in which you're seeking to work. What is immediate and what's emergent? How is the game going to change? And what is that likely to mean for you? You've also got to understand the opportunities and risks that are present in those ever-changing conditions and understand what they mean for you in terms of your skills, work, and job. Beyond that opportunity and risk question, you've got to think about capabilities. What are the capabilities that I will need to pursue the opportunities that I can see and to mitigate any risks that may exist for me and my work? And don't forget that in 2021, the baseline capabilities and the specialized capabilities for your work, for your industry, for what you may hope to do in the future have changed. What was baseline and expected in 2019 and before is now different. COVID has stripped that away and reshaped where we are now and where we need to be in the future. Beyond those capabilities, you've then got to think about what it is that you value. And that's why we ask that question right up the front, so that you can start focusing your capabilities so that you are able to sustain value generation regardless of what might emerge in those conditions that you're starting to look at. In that context, you have to understand the value of work cycle. It's about meaningful, secure work, upward mobility, wealth creation, whatever that may mean for you and what you're trying to do, and leaving a legacy, which is about what do you leave behind for those who are coming next. And of course, that starts with your family and those you hold most dear to you. So get started. Own your future work. For more information, an overview of the Owning Your Future Work course content, objectives, and outcomes, please get in touch via email at services@resilientfutures.com or check out the information on our website at www.resilientfutures.com/get started. And remember, this is about you owning your future work. No one else will do it for you. This is about you taking charge and being strategic and responsible for where you are now and getting to where you would like to be.